Hello, I'm Jess. I am an artist and filmmaker. We are here at Studio Kind in collaboration with Cast Gallery for my show, I Think This Is Where I Live. So last year, my nan went into a care home, and she lives in a council house, we knew we were going to have to empty this house. My family moved into this home 78 years ago. And since then, we've had 3 generations live in it. And me and my sibling also grew up visiting the house. It is kind of an anchor for my mum's side of the family. We had many Christmases, all of her cousins would have gathered there. And so this process of emptying it and returning it to the council was this it was unusual for a home that had been in our family for so long. So I wanted to document that process and the objects inside the house. It felt very important to capture them in their context as they were. So almost like removing them from the house was going to take away sort of the essence of them. They wouldn't be the same objects anymore unless they're in those specific spots. So a large part of this process was me going into my nan's house and just documentary style, capturing things as they were in situ. None of the images had been staged or moved. Things were just sort of captured where they were. Everything is something that felt important to document. I used 2 rolls of black and white film. The reason being I kind of wanted to be limited to the amount of photos I could take, so that to help prioritize what was important and what needed to be documented and protected and preserved and all of these things. I quite like adding limitations to my work. I think it helps me focus on my intention. When it came to printing the work, I was thinking a lot about how people would look at these images. And so some of the objects of the glass cabinet and the ornaments reminded me a bit of hidden object games, which I used to play a lot as a kid. I wanted to blow them up really big so that people could come and kind of see all the little things hidden in there. There's things in there that I've not even noticed yet. And then from that came the idea of making the smaller things bigger so that you notice them, and making the larger things smaller. So images of the house are quite small, meaning that the sort of shapes and composition becomes the most important thing. And then ornaments, bookshelves, things like that are printed quite large to bring out these little details and textures that might go unnoticed otherwise. The exception being this chair, which I wanted to feel kind of as life-size as possible. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this piece and the kind of process to it being created. So above my nan's dining table was this huge charcoal drawing that some bloke at the pub did decades ago. And I'd always kind of liked it. And so she said I could have it for my new house. So when we were emptying out the house, I made sure to bring this picture first trip. And as I picked up the frame, I got a splinter in my hand, and it just didn't come out for about 3 days. And it kind of felt a little bit like the house resisting being emptied and things being taken out of it. This is the green lady, or the green girl, or the Chinese girl. It's got a few different names. It is a super famous, very mass-produced print from the 70s. And this used to sit at the top of my nan's stairs. So as you entered the house, in the corner of your eye, this terrifying green-faced woman would be staring down at you. And it used to scare me a lot as a kid. I used to rush past the stairs so I didn't have to look at her. And then as I got older, she kind of became this sort of familiar face and familiar presence. And now that I've got my own home, she is above my stairs. So to kind of recreate that feeling of entering my nan's house, I wanted to have this piece here hung as high as possible to imitate that feeling of entering my nan's house and her being in your periphery. So a lot of the curation of the show is based around experience and order of seeing things, and the walls are positioned to hide things, so you can't see everything all at once and you have to move around, and there is a flow. And that's really important to me as a filmmaker, usually working in timelines and narratives and how the audience receive that narrative. So yeah, the Green Lady is the crux of that. There you go.